question. Where I have a question. Where the fuck are our kings at?
Don't worry, fellas, I got this. They're at work right now, saving so they can get their passport together so that they can go ahead and get a wife that's foreign who has traditional values. They're at work right now, saving for retirement for one, because they don't want to take the chance of marrying a woman who can take half of their shit. You've canceled them. You've silenced them. Because either you was spouting a feminist narrative that doesn't allow men to be men, or you were silent while your sisters did and you didn't check that shit. They're effeminate because they were raised by single mothers and denied contact with their fathers. They're effeminate because you socialized them in school to act like women instead of to be men. They're effeminate because you taught them everything about their masculinity was toxic. You've turned them into women or disenfranchised them.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's going on? Welcome back to the broadcast. And we're going to talk about these big black nuts tonight. All right, everybody type these nuts in the chat room because that's what's important, fellas. Guard your nuts, okay? And the nuts I'm talking about are as pictured on the thumbnail here. You know, we use them for bolts and screws, and we put things together. Those, of course, are the nuts that I'm discussing. But either way, we're going to talk about these big black nuts and what these nuts are doing and what these nuts are not doing. But before I get going, I want to give a big shout out to my man Volcanus. Always good to have you, man, up in the chat room. Salute Uncle D in the chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and always remember Uncle D is a legend. Never forget that. That's what's happening. Big shout out to Randall. Shout out to T-Real Swinning. Swimming. Who else we got up in here, man? Y'all make sure all my guys in the wrench mob, man, y'all go ahead and type, hit the #1 button if you're in the wrench mob. I need you to go ahead and do that now. Make sure we keep these nuts as a topic of discussion tonight. All right. Now, what the hell is Dennis talking about tonight? What are we talking about? We talking about these big black nuts. Apparently, these nuts. And these nuts are a rare commodity. That's what I'm talking about. What do you mean? What I mean is, despite what you've been told, these nuts are hard to come by. These big black nuts that these that keep things together, that hold things together, that hold families together, of course, you know, because you need these nuts to build houses. Let me cut it out, man. We're talking about an article that was put out by the Grio. Okay, the Grio, you know, this is a kind of strong, you know, black, independent sort of journal. So the fact that they put it out, it's almost as it comes across as a cry for help. Now, I want you guys to let me know if you can see this headline here. The sperm donor shortage causing black women to look elsewhere. All right, there has been a shortage for years, and the industry experts say one reason is mistrust of the medical system. No, that's not it. We're gonna break this strong feminist rhetoric down, but I want to tease out some things here. Yeah, we're gonna tease. Oh man, no pun intended. Look, I need y'all to type these nuts in the chat room, man. We talk about these nuts. We talk about these big black nuts as posted on the is posted up on the thumbnail. But basically, this article is saying that there's a shortage of black men across the nation, forcing we're forcing black women to choose a donor of another race. Like, we're forcing them, right? Because they can't get a black man you don't see any black dudes walking around, huh? But you rather not. You rather go to a sperm donor as opposed to some agency somewhere, as opposed to dealing with a brother. I got it. There has been a shortage of black sperm for years, and industry experts say one reason is mistrust and of the medical system. That ain't it. I don't even know why. Clearly, somebody else wrote this other than us. Shout out to Keith Jenkins. Shout out to my man Randall. Also, the fertility industry has for a long time marketed primarily to white people, which has a major impact on single black women and couples seeking to start a family. No, black women didn't have this issue. Black women in the 80s and 90s could always find a dude to dump a load in them. Okay, that's changing. Black men are on strike. Okay, y'all type these nuts on strike in the chat room. These nuts on strike in the chat room. We're going to chop it up a little bit. We speaking Ebonics tonight. If you went to any website, any fertility clinic in the United States before 2020, you actually very rarely saw any evidence of people who just by sight did look. None of that matters. Okay, this foolishness goes on and on. There's some key points. It says it's only 2% of donors are black men. In other words, out of all the nation's 4 largest cryo banks, only 2%. Out of all, that's it. That's all you got. So out of 748 sperm donors, only 12, and this is in California, only 12 dudes, only 12 brothers decided to give up that baby battle. They not willing to share these nuts with these hoes. Okay. And when I say these hoes, that's a Basque term, which means come here. Okay. So when I say that, I'm not using profanity. All right. I've refrained from using profanity. And so we're going to talk about these nuts and these hoes. But for the most part, we're going to have a decent conversation without this profane language that has become prolific here on these YouTube screens. But anyway, let's go ahead and proceed. The thing I want you guys to understand, and I'm going to put this article in the chat room. I wanted to be one of the first ones to hit this, man, because this is a telltale sign of things to come. All right. This is what strong, independent, I don't need a man for the past 40 years gets you. You guys, basically, you have a bunch of women who want to be single black moms, and they're desperately seeking black men, sperm donors. And what you'll read in that article that I just put in the chat room is many of them are forced to take non-black men, a sperm, right? And to sire their children. Other than that, the other option is go buy a dog. Yeah, go get your dog, dude. Okay? But as I said before, black men are on strike. In this newspaper, as I said earlier, they said 2% of the black male sperm donors represented are represented at the nation's cryobanks. Now, here's the things. I've heard they're actually giving out $500 per donation. In other words, you put them nuts on the slab, you put those big nuts, those big black nuts on the slab, and they give you $500 per donation. Some of y'all, look at that, man. Y'all been giving that away for free, man. And now somebody's willing to give you $500 for it, right? My thing is, you got all these pookies knocking up a certain group of women, right? So what's up with that? Well, the truth is they don't want those men. They want a different caliber of man to have children by. They typically want to have fun with Pookie. And of course, there's a certain level of women that do, we get that. But the thing I want you guys to be aware of, what you're going to start seeing is you're going to start seeing women who are your friends, colleagues, running up on you talking about, hey, why don't you just give us your baby better, or give me your baby better. But what you do with that, you risk the chance to end up paying child support. I'm gonna deal with that a little bit later. But what you need to understand also is that Black women have sired over 1 million children that were not Black women have given birth to over 1 million children that weren't sired by Black men. I was asking myself, where did all these biracial babies come from? And now that I've realized, based on this article that came out yesterday, there's a Black sperm donor shortage causing Black women to look elsewhere. So part of the problem means some of these women are going to these sperm banks. They're getting inseminated by white and Latino men's sperm. Okay. So this is more of the answer to the question. So when you see all these single baby mothers, this is not necessarily the fault of Black men. As we know, 52% of Black men aren't married. And there's about another 42% or 40% of Black men who don't have children. So, when you start breaking down the numbers, you start a more detailed picture emerges. Now, my thing is, Black women travel abroad all the time, and they buy the D. We know they go down to Jamaica and buy the D. You see, we know that. But my thing is, why don't you want those men to have children, sire your children? Why don't you go to Jamaica and these other places? No, they want Black American men to do that. You see, that's what they want. As I said earlier, they're looking for Black men, right? But the thing is, the system penalizes hardworking, smart, genetically superior Black men. Those are the men, right, that have stopped procreating. These are because we realize it costs too much. It's too much trouble. So what ends up happening, you got a lot of women who end up with men who they would not ordinarily have a child by to fill that void, men who they deem genetically inferior, men who might not have men who have records. And in this regard, you're looking at something like a genocide, because the system wins in this regard, because now you got all these people. This is just a general problem, but I'm analyzing this, on the fly. But here's some stats I want to share with you. Black women between the ages of 35 and 45 are more likely to remain unmarried compared with other racial groups. Meanwhile, the demand for Black sperm donors among Black women has risen steadily over the years, but it spiked during the pandemic. And my thing is, why aren't these lovely ladies rushing out to get this white and Latino man sperm? I mean, they hate us so much, right? Y'all keep it going. Type these nuts, these big Black nuts, is what they want in the chat room. They want these big Black nuts. Y'all type that in the chat room. They want these big Black nuts, and they can't get them. So, yeah, man. Anyway, that's what I'm talking about. But the thing is, why would you want? And as I said earlier, there's such a shortage of Black male sperm donors that what you're going to end up finding is a lot of women are going to be turning to their male friends and online groups. And this is what's being said in this article. They're putting these ideas out there. But, that's the last thing we need is more Black babies with no daddies around, only to be being raised by these contempt-filled single mothers. And so what I'm telling you fellas is protect your seed. Protect your seed. Type protect your seed in the chat room, fellas. Protect your seed, right? Vote your interest, and let's push this agenda out the way and let these women, live their life as they should. Spike Lee had a movie out back in 2004 called She Hate Me. You guys, basically, it was a kind of the same line. This lady wanted her friend to donate some sperm to her. But like I said earlier, there's a danger associated with that. You're going to have a lot of these rainbow flag couples, lesbian couples saying, hey, why don't you do this? Don't donate, give us some of your baby batter. And they might even promise they're not going to put you on child support. But you don't know that, and the judge won't care. And there's case law out there that says if you donate your sperm outside of one of these formal clinics, then what ends up happening is you don't have the protection associated with that. Now, here's another thing. Let's say that child actually wants to meet you. Let's say you do donate to in a clinic, and the child actually wants to meet you when they're 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, which may very well happen. Well, once the mother knows your identity and they file child support and back child support, the judge is probably not going to care that you gave your sperm to you donated your sperm. The judge is going to put you on child support. That's how that works, because and I could go into that, but I don't want to turn this into a legal conversations for the most part. But what I'm telling you guys is refuse to be a concussor for the matriarchy. It's a trap. Let them go beg Latino men and white men. This is not a black man problem. Okay. A lot of these women are finding that a lot of these women are finding that they got to take race off the list. Okay. They're looking for a baby. And there's one in the article mentioned, this lady said she had to settle for a Latino donor and end up naming the child Zuri or something like that. And, I'm all for it. My thing is this, we know all the research points out that 2-parent homes are better for children as opposed to these single parent homes. And these homes raised with women running them as single mothers are horrible for children. Look at the incarceration rate, the self-deletion rate, the out of wedlock, the dropout of high school rate. Look at all that, right? So you raising a mixed black baby with no father. And this baby has got to deal with you with no reprieve, no balance in the household. Just two women, two rainbow flag women. But what this demonstrates also is what these ladies really think about family. They think all you need for family is just 2 women and some kids. And in my opinion, they've lost their minds. And the reason brothers have never en masse wanted to be sperm donors, because for the most part, first of all, brothers don't really believe in that. We're not really into artificial insemination. And the most important thing that they overlooking is we want to be part of our children's lives. I find it amazing that a lot of these women would prefer to be single mothers than quote unquote settle for a man that they think is beneath them. You see? A man that they don't meet the requirements for. But they want your seed, fellas. They're intentionally making children without a father. And the thing is, the last thing we need is more black babies, that are fatherless. Look at the stats. I told some of them to you guys. I mean, a lot of these women, they have a stronger desire to be a mother than they do to be a wife. It's almost like they hate the title and the responsibility associated with wife. I get it though. Being a mother, there are biological urges associated with that. But at a certain point, it's a biological impossibility. You were lied to. You told you can freeze your eggs. Goddamn eggs are turning in damn powder after so long, and you can't find a donor. But Black American women have been taught that they've been trained to believe that marriage life is bad and this spinster life is equal to it or better than. You can have your freedom, girl. Girl, go. Don't get married, girl. It's not worth it. Doesn't work out. You're just gonna old. You're gonna get old. You're gonna die by yourself. Nobody's coming to visit you. I had an auntie like that. And the thing is, why would we want you raising our children anyway? I mean, These single moms, you're just gonna put another emotionally unstable man out into the environment, that eventually turn into criminals. You don't have enough money to do it. The average Black American woman only makes $40,000 a year. Okay, so you don't have the money to do it. There's no father around. Hell, even the rich ones, even the rich Black American women, the kids come out acting like T.I.'s son or something like that, like these spoiled, weird, emotional. It's not worth it. And Black men understand that burden. We don't want the idea that we've had children and we put them out there. We don't want that. We don't want to leave our seed behind or leave our seed in the hands of women who we deem unfit to raise it. If we wanted to have children, we would have children. And the article says this: there's so many good African American men out there. When in the hell have they ever said that about us? Now you see they trying to butter us up. And then the article goes on to say, well, maybe they just don't know how much they're needed to create families. That's not a family. That's a woman and a kid. We rather you buy a dog and die alone. We on strike. We spend a lifetime being told that we're not needed. I can barely fathom the idea of being needed. You strong, independent, don't need a man type now, but now you want our seed. And that's not how that works. Now, let me tell you how low these women go on to try to get these nuts. I want y'all to understand this is how low these sperm donors and these companies have sought out Black fraternity men at colleges and other Black student organizations at these colleges, trying to get them to give them sperm. And the brother said no. The Qs, the Alphas, the Kappas, the Sigmas, even the what's the little row? I forget the name of that. The ones that look with the UPS colors. No disrespect, man. Shout out to everybody. But they go into the Black fraternities and Black organizations trying to get sperm from these young men on these college campuses, probably offering them money. This is what this article says. But the good thing about it, the young brothers said no. They have not been very successful doing that, according to Jamie Shamanki, the chief medical officer of California. And I say good for those students on using their heads. You should not feel comfortable about the thought of having a child as yours out there somewhere in the world without you or your guidance. Black men want to know our children. We want to know our child. And we want to be there for their life or their lives. We're not going to be your CompuServes. Yeah, shout out to the IOTAs. I mean, in the nerve of you all, this society, you've drilled into our psyche that we're not good fathers, that we're absent. And now you turn around and tell us you want us to help you create more children who will be absent their fathers. Tell them they can get these nuts. I want y'all to type in the chat room, get these nuts. You understand me? Y'all can get these nuts. We're not doing it. And why would you ladies want to have the sperm? Why would you want to have children by the men that you claim you don't like? We're told we're not needed so often. Hell, we believe you and we moving on. Shout out to the passport bros. I'm offended that anyone would think that this is how Black men want to exist. Or how we should want to help create families. We're active fathers. Why would you think we wouldn't want to be in our children's lives? You got children out there. You done donated some baby batter. And now you walking around your community is 20, 30 years later, and you wondering if this child could be yours or not. We don't want that. You black women, you don't deserve our participation in this plight. I mean, if society is trying to destroy black families, this is a great way to do it. This is another form of genocide. Shout out to my man Race Bannon. Thank you so much, bro. You get that rock and roll. Thank you so much. And here's some other stuff I want to talk to you guys about. It's a desperate situation because black men and black people in this country are below replacement level. And once you're below replacement level and you start losing people, you lose all your political leverage, all your financial ability, all your financial power. And the thing, what I don't understand, there's a lot of black men in these so-called YouTube streets in this red pill space. We don't talk about that. And let me tell you something else. If you're not talking about that, you're really not talking about what's important. You're going to be gone in 3 or 4 generations. My man Slim Chatby, he said, don't play Iota Phi Theta. Man, shout out to Iotas, baby. I got love for you, man. I got love for you, baby. Big shout out to y'all. Big shout out to the Iotas, man. But yeah, y'all don't give up y'all baby daughter either, man. Y'all need to send a fraternity message out. And here's the other thing. It's not just black women trying to get black men's seed, man. You got women from other races. You know, you got white girls who want to just have a little brown baby. They trying to get you to donate the sperm, man. Look how they trying to play us. But the big picture is this, man. I'm looking at how when you sit back, man, it's almost like you can see the shift of, you know, it's like watching a movie, a real time how it plays out, you know. But the most important thing is you see and realize that black men are the prize. And let me tell you why we're different than every other group of men on in these United States, or really on this planet. There's a country of Nigeria. You can get more black men from there, black Nigerian. You can get more black men from Ghana. They got the same cultures constantly being made, you know, new people having children. You get that. You can get more black men from the Gambia. But black men in America, there's no country called Black America. And we're a unique group of men, even around the world. We're not African per se. We're of African descent, but we're Americans. We're unique. Even Jamaican and other Caribbean, y'all got countries. Your culture is intact. We're a dying breed. What does that mean? This uniqueness, the Kobe Bryants, the Michael Jordans, that's not going to be repeated. The great singers like Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, all these different folks, they all came from Black American stock. And that culture is dying. So unless they get one, so we're a very rare commodity. There's only 14 million Black American men in the United States. So that means there's only 14 million Black American men, more or less, in this entire world. And to have so much talent and so many amazing things come from men like that, it's not everywhere. Shout out to my man, Chief Martell. Y'all type these big black nuts in the chat room, man. Come on, type these big black nuts in the chat room, man. The tides are turning, and I'm proud of you brothers, man. We are the catch. Either they get right or they get left behind. That's where we at, okay? But just to see these Black American women constantly taking L's from every angle. And the thing is, they refuse to recognize the error of their ways. And they're just falling deeper and deeper into the pit of sabotage. They're doing it to themselves. And genocide. They did it to themselves. This is just another layer of them taking an L and losing, yet they refuse to change. And then they get mad when the brothers go overseas. I mean, think about this, ladies. You rather be single than be cooperative and cooperate with a black man, or try to run to some sperm bank to get you a baby. That's sad. But either way, I want to give a big shout out to everybody in the chat room. Thank you guys so much. Y'all make sure y'all get the lights up. What I'm gonna do now is I'm going to open up the chat room. I want to hear what you guys got to say about these nuts. I want to talk about these big black nuts and what these nuts are not doing, and what you think is coming next. Because at this point, once they realize they can't get it, can you imagine all the hook and crook that they're gonna use to try to? These desperate women are gonna use to try to get you brothers get your baby better, because they want what they want. And if I know women well enough, the rarer something becomes, the more likely they want it, like a Birkin bag. You understand? It's like a Birkin bag. God's ball. Somebody call them God's ball. Oh man, we gotta get the likes up too, man. Y'all get the likes up, man. Well, man, Douglas, what's happening, brother? How you doing?
Hey, what's up with you, fam?
All right, good having you up in here, man. What do you think about these women, man? It's like what are your thoughts? I mean, what are your thoughts? Go ahead. Just you initially heard this. What are your thoughts?
I believe they sold the white supremacy, and we should treat this situation as we are a dying race in America. And our women are perpetuating and helping white supremacists kill our nation.
Well, you know, we don't need any help killing our own nation. We're doing it ourselves very well, whether we shooting each other in the street or baby deletions or whatever. But here's the thing, and I'm gonna rely back to Obsidian. The problem with Black Americans moving into the 21st century is that Black men and Black women don't get along. That's the fundamental problem. Now, when I look at this, this is from the worldatlas.com, and it points out that fertility rates of Black non-Hispanic, that's Black Americans, right? Shout out to my man Michael Davis. Thank you so much. It points out that the fertility rate decreased from 1.824 in 2017 to 1792 children per woman in 2018. I mean, that's almost, I mean, my God. First of all, understand that unless you have replacement level fertility, your population is dying out. So we already have less than replacement level in our children. Basically, what they're saying is Black women are having one child and some are having two, but we're not having 2, 3, 4, 5 like they used to back in the day, because brothers are not getting them pregnant. It's not that these women don't want to get pregnant. It's that Black men aren't getting them pregnant. Here's another stat I'm gonna hit you with. And I've mentioned this before. Black women have 1.1 million more babies over and above the number of children that Black men have sired. So that means they're going to Hispanic, Latino, Asian, Arab, whatever men they're going to, and getting pregnant. Or maybe the other option is they're going to these sperm banks. But we're below we're below replacement level fertility, which means we are a dying race in this country. Once you get below fertility level, replacement level, there's really no coming back. White people, here we always talk about white people are dying out. We're 1.792. And let me show you where the white folks at, since we always talk about them. Let me slide back up here. White folks, non-Hispanic whites, they're at 1.64. So we barely got them beat. As they go, so we go too. Think about that, man. What are your thoughts? Anybody else who wants to come in and get this, man, come on in. But y'all make sure y'all type in these big black nuts, because that's what we're talking about. Douglas, man, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, in the big picture of things.
I think that, you know, they'd rather be independent prostitutes and bad mothers. They be loving housewives. They'd rather be Eve's Jezebel's daughter than the Most High blessed daughters of Zion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they need to take the weeds and the makeup off and look in the Most High mirror and see what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Black Wall Street, man, welcome to the broadcast. What are your thoughts on these ladies trying to get the brothers to give up their baby battle? They want these nuts, Black Wall Street. What are your thoughts on this conversation?
Oh, well, I'm in complete disagreement with them getting these nuts, to be honest with you. Because, I mean, I'm 35, I make low six figures. I don't have any children. And my problem has been just like the rest of the black men, you know, we can't find suitable wives. And what I've noticed is that you either find the young ones, they either like all the way in the streets, extremely promiscuous, and it's crazy because the college educated ones are more wild than the regular ones. And then
because they got more access too to things, yeah, more access to money, and yeah. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, brother.
And then the older ones, like I met a 40-year-old woman tonight, beautiful. She teach Sunday school. She had to be home early. I took on a day tonight. She had to be home early, teach a Sunday school class. But I mean, she's been in therapy and everything, but she's 40 years old and she divorced and got 3 kids. What the hell I'm gonna do with her? But I mean, she's peaceful to be around.
So I get. Damn, hold on, slow down. She's 40 years old. She been in therapy, but she divorced again. It was all good up until you said 40. Okay, teach Sunday school. Okay, she been in therapy, but she been divorced and got 3 kids. That's a killer, man. 3 kids.
It's like like, man, we getting the best of the worst. You see what I'm saying? Like I met the sister within a week. The first week she cooked. I mean, it's beautiful, but ain't shit I can do with her.
She cooked at your house, or did you have to go to her house to get her to cook?
She cooked at her house and brought the food over to my house.
Okay, so she didn't want you coming over there to see all them kids. Did you know she had kids yet?
Yeah, she got 3 teenagers. They had homecoming this week too.
Oh man, are they boys or girls?
2 boys and 1 girl. 16, 19, and one is 17. But she was married for 13 years. You know, I did the whole facts on her and got all the information. So
let me say something, man. And anybody who wants to come in, you got to cam up. I know we got people lining up in the bullpen, but you got to cam up because it's weirdos out here. We talking about these nuts, and we got to protect these big black nuts at all times. We don't want this broadcast to get demonetized. We want everybody to pay attention to these nuts. But man, it's a low caliber woman that'll be trying to date a man, and she got a teenage daughter. You understand?
Yes, sir.
I want you to think about this. You know, you're a good dude. You're a decent dude. You're only 35. You're a young man. A good, classy woman is not going to bring a strange man into her house with her teenage daughter. You understand what I'm saying? That's just class and restraint. It lets you know the caliber of mother she is, and that's not a very good caliber of mother right there, because she's thinking more about herself than the safety of her teenage daughter. And if she done it with you, then she done it before. You understand what I'm saying? So just think about that. On top of that, man, she 40 years old, man. She too old for you, bro. She damn near ready to be a grandma, and you 35. She too old for you, man.
Well, you know, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that our wife is supposed to be our age divided in half plus 7. So I'm supposed to have a 24-year-old woman. However, the young women I date, though, all they drink Casamigos, shake their ass. It don't even matter if they got a bachelor's or they came from a good family. They just fucked up out here, Uncle D.
Well, man, you know, I let me say it like this, man. Okay, so my lady's in her early 20s. You know what I'm saying? And I'm 48. I met her when I was 46. Shout out to my man Birds. Now, the thing is, because I've traveled in Latin America, I know that's pretty common down there. You see what I mean? I recognize, you know, and I like black women. I only dated black women. My first wife was from New Orleans. My ex, my baby mama, she's from Jamaica. You know, and my lady now, she's Afro-Latina. You see what I'm saying? So I like black women. I really, you know, I ain't got no disrespect for nobody. Whatever you like, man. I support you. I like women of African descent. But what I did was I took the time to kind of get to know the culture And so because of that, I can hold that woman to that culture. Now, because we have our culture here in the United States is so shot, look at that Lori Harvey girl. They told her, girl, you need to go out there and be a thought for about another 4 or 5 years before you think about settling down. Shout out to my man Shocks 112. So I can imagine it's bad out there, bro. But it's always that's why American women are considered hoes, bro, on everything. You see what I mean? Like the rest of the men in the world will tell you they just easy. That's what they say about them. You know. Go ahead, Wall Street. I'm gonna keep you coming in. We'll move on to Jason, but just hang in there for a minute. What else you want to add? What do you think about the fact that these women are now basically begging black men for their sperm, and they want you, 35 years old, intelligent, 6 figures a year? That's who they want. You understand what I'm saying? What are your thoughts on that?
I think dealing with them, the juice ain't worth the squeeze, man. You know, I was raised in a home where my father retired from the Marines and he continued to work.
Yeah.
And I never seen my mother work a job. Well, my stepmother, never seen her work a job. So I know what I'm supposed to do as a man, but hell no, they ain't getting no sperm from me or any other black man.
And the idea, man, that they would just think it would just be just like we're a commodity, like they could just, oh yeah, we'll just get some sperm from some, like it's gonna come that easy. Like we don't value ourselves and our lineage. You just gonna have a bunch of loose kids out there you ain't had nothing to do with. That ain't right, man. And I think all of us, deep down inside, we recognize there's something wrong about that. But anyway, my man Jason BGI, man, welcome to the broadcast.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can hear you. Thank you so much. I'm offended that they would think that we just gonna give up our sperm like that, bro. I'm offended, like as a black man.
It's really so.
Ahead,
I'm sorry to cut you off.
No. We'll be back. We're gonna open the panel up. I want to get everybody a chance to speak. Jason, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll just be on really quickly, guys. Blessings, Brother Dennis, and to all the panel. I'm here from Barbados. So
okay, cool.
When America catches the cold, countries like mine catch the flu.
Wow.
So the same sort of trends that are happening over there are happening over here. I heard Black Wall Street talking about his little church friend there who has a bit of a situation. I was talking to a couple of church ladies. You know, I'm heavily in the church and such, like here in Barbados, and I call them Christian feminists. Big, small C, big F. The disease has hit here with a vengeance, man. And I'm telling you, the same sort of tactics that you're seeing in your black community there in America, sadly, it's happening here. And there's men in my age range, in my situation. I'm nearly 40 myself, recently divorced and such. I just catching back myself, so to speak. And I'm going to get my passport renewed next month.
Jason, I want you to, okay, so Jason BGI brings up a great point. He in Barbados, right? What I find, because I spent some extensive time in Jamaica, I found that anywhere where women speak English, they're subject to that eminism. You understand? And if they're Black American women, I mean, if they're Black women who speak English, whether it's Nigeria, Ghana, Jamaica, Barbados, and any of those islands, you're gonna get the weaves, you're gonna get the neck rolling. It might be not as intense, but you're gonna get that same thing. It's only the places where the women either aren't Black or don't speak English and they're Black that you might stand a chance of finding a traditional woman. That's been my finding. Jason is basically come in and confirm what I'm saying is his findings, and he's from there. So don't go everywhere with your passport thinking you're gonna get a new flavor. If you go into Jamaica, Barbados, it's gonna be the same foolishness. That's crazy to me, Jason. What else would you like to add?
Guys, come down anytime you want, especially around crop over. A beer on me, you know what I mean? But don't come here looking for any woman seriously. I'm telling you, the infection has run very deep here, and I have some friends who are trying to hook me up with their friends and such like, and tell me don't give up so easily. Look for there may be younger ones that are less rabid with their feminism, but it's a serious situation here. Our population has been doing like this. I'm one of the lucky ones because the abortion act, I hope that doesn't mess with your the YouTube. But
you say baby deletions. Go ahead.
That legislation was passed the year I was born, So I'm one of the lucky ones.
Okay.
But there's been thousands
Wow.
of
So
us who've been,
you're saying the baby deletion rate is high down there?
Yeah,
in Barbados.
Yeah, and to the point where family planning and such, like I have friends who work there and they would disagree with me strongly, but the family planning has, I would argue, worked a little too well. I mean, we're a small country, you know, we have limited resources, small open economy and all the rest of it. We don't manufacture anything of substance here. You know, most of our money comes from tourism. As a matter of fact, one of our growing areas of tourism is in the same area of fertility treatments. So, you know, they're looking for sperm donors for this market to serve American women who come here looking for pregnancy. Yeah. So there's another angle for you.
Because the men up here on strike, we tired of these hoes. And when I say these hoes, that's the language of Basque. It's a Basque language. You have people in Spain and French.
Yeah, up in the mountains.
So this is the language they speak. These hoes actually means come here or come in, depending on. So that when I say these hoes, I'm not. I'm just basically speaking the language of Basque, and I could have been. You mean I feel like I don't know. I've never been, but I feel like that could be me. So when I say that, that's what I mean. But man, shout out to you. Hanging there for a minute. Let's go to Alan TVLN. Alan, bro, we can see your microphone, man. We can't really see you, bro. We see the screen. Yeah, what's happening, man? So
what's going on? How y'all brothers doing?
We good. Type these big black nuts in the chat room so everybody will know what we talking about. What we talking about? These big black nuts. That's what we talking about. Alan, go ahead, bro. What are your thoughts on this conversation?
I mean, it's a sad day that we live in. As a man that's raising a daughter, and I'm weary of, you know, how situations and stuff like that is going to end up for my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Will she be able to find a decent black man that wants to marry and things like that, especially due to the climate and the way things are going? You know what I'm saying? Black men are kind of checking out, you know, and throughout YouTube, I've also been hearing, you know, as far as, you know, young men in her age range, they've checked out so far to where they're not even looking at women like how my generation of young men at 19 or 20. What'd you say?
Right. No, I'm listening, bro. Because see, let me tell you, I got sons. I got a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old. You know, and even though my boys are a little bit
19
younger than your girl, right? But they still in the same day and age, man.
Yep.
The advice I give my sons is totally different than the advice was given to me back in the 80s and 90s when I was young and in the dating scene. I tell my boys, hey man, you got to be careful. These bras will set you up.
Of
course. You see what I mean? You be careful. You can't trust them, man. And here's the crazy thing: I take my sons overseas. Even now, they've been to several places. They've been to Jamaica. They've been to Belize. They've been to Dominican Republic. Shout out to Urban Eagle. They've been to Colombia. I plan to take them to Brazil just so they can see black women exist outside of the country. It's hard to convince them, like they're not gonna be in that pocket that we was in. Either you date a black girl or you get ostracized from the group. That's not even how they was a black American girl. You see what I mean? Yeah. And then so I don't have daughters, man. And I'm assuming your daughter is a black American girl, right? Her mom is black.
Yes, of course.
Alan.
Yes, of course. And
so
you know,
so she probably gonna have that same culture. That's all I'm saying. But go ahead, Alan.
Hey, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely understand where you're coming from, though. Right now, you know, I'm hovering above her, making sure that I try my best to, you know, keep her as pure as possible. Don't get me wrong, you know, like, be honest with you, man, it makes me feel good when I wake up in the morning and I give her a call and she here at the house or whatever, and what's up, Dad? Love it. I fucking love it. And you know, but I know the dangers.
Is one subject we don't talk about. No, but I was gonna say this, Alan. One subject we rarely talk about here in YouTube is the plight of black men who have black daughters.
Right. Right.
Because
I've
see,
been noticing that too.
like we're men and we all, you know, we can relate on a certain level, but see, because you got that daughter, you like, damn, I ain't gonna never be able to get rid of this girl. Like these dudes on the internet 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, talk about how they're not willing to deal with, you know, some of the same characteristics that my baby mama or my wife forced me to deal with, and then which she taught my daughter to have. That same culture is passed down. And now you got all these black men saying, nah, we ain't dealing with that. The game changed.
Right.
How do you know, like I'm
mean,
gonna
you
be
know,
honest with you. But like go ahead, brother. What's tell us about
I'm
your
trying my
fear.
best. I'm trying my best to do what I can to counteract certain things. Because let's not get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I fell into the trap 2 years ago. I mean, you know, years ago and stuff like that. As far as how we were being raised as black men in this country, things like that. And yeah, my daughter was out of wedlock. Let's just keep it. You know, I'm gonna keep it real. But at the
It's all
same
good,
time,
man.
I've always been an
That's
active father. I've always been in her life. You know what I'm saying? I never denied her. I've always tried to do my best to take care of her in any means necessary. And you know, but yeah, as she's older now, you know, and she built like her mama, she voluptuous and all that type of crap. So yeah, I try to, you know, I keep a hover, you know what I'm saying, over her and stuff like that. And you know, but right now she moving pretty smooth for me. So, you know, I really don't have any, you know, super complaints.
what do you see? Here's the thing, man. Like, let me talk to you, father to father.
Yeah.
I'm not letting my son marry a woman who doesn't cook, clean, and is submissive,
right,
and cooperative, and knows how to keep peace in the house. If my son brings one of these neck rolling women over here that I was raised around, I'm like, son, she's not. You got to get her up out of here. Period. And it don't matter what race she is. You understand? And here's the thing: my fiance, she cooks, she cleans, she wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, she studies, then she cook breakfast for me before I get up. You see what I mean? She go to school, she go to work, go to law school. When I come home, is a meal here. She cooked 3 meals a weekend for my sons. You understand? Home cook. I ain't been, but I can count the number of times I've been out to eat in the past 5 years. And so I'm showing and when we go to the DR, my sons see that same level of cooperation. And if I was to take them to Colombia, they see that same level of cooperation, that we get no back talk. We have disagreements, but it's not, it ain't no challenge. It's I don't have a woman trying to compete with me. I have a woman trying to be a helpmeet.
Right.
You see what I mean? And so what I'm trying to explain to you, brother, those are the type of women that your daughter's gonna have to compete with. Here's the crazy thing. Those are the type of women that are gonna be raising my future daughters. That's how I want so your daughters are gonna have to compete with my daughters. So they're gonna have to your daughters who neck rolling and all that, they're gonna have to compete with a fit, feminine, beautiful woman who is black, who's been raised by a woman from a different culture, who teaches them to be fit, feminine, beautiful, and cooperative, and keep peace in the house. How are Black American women going? They begging for sperm. They out here, the griot, that's their bullhorn. They begging for sperm. I got to get my man Khalid Shakur up in here, man. He's a vet to this thing. Bro, drop some knowledge on us, man. I know you, and if y'all don't know, Brother Garvey comes from the black, he comes from the black conscious community. And it is always good to have his perspective, because I remember when I was like, man, I don't believe these, you know, it's some great, I always like having you in here, because he's had a change of heart, so to speak. I know you still love our people, but it's good. He's the one to come up with some of these catchy phrases that that he gonna trademark. I don't want to get sued, but Brother Garvey, man, what do you think about this in the big picture of things? You know, I see genocide, I see feminism backfiring, I see so much, and it's only so many people I could talk to about it, but I think you and I can relate on that level. What do you see with this new thing? See with this?
I mean, it's a few different levels.
Oh man, we lost him. Damn it, we losing people. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear number
can
one, brother?
I hear you.
Okay, go ahead. Khalid, you up, bro? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's a few different things. Like you say, with the spread of feminism, the brother who was in, I think he said Barbados, where they're having a problem out there.
Mhm.
And it's like you said, anywhere they speak English, it's almost like the language is cursed. It's either that or it's as simple as feminism, the language of that is just easily transferred with English, and it's harder to get the concepts in other languages. And maybe that may be the barrier of why it doesn't spread that fast.
Right.
But when you talk about like the population with black women not being able to find the sperm, I really can't say it's a bad thing, because one way or the other, a lot of these women, their ovaries need to stay on the shelf.
Mm.
A lot of these women should never be mothers. I'm a millennial. Most millennial black women should never be fertilized, ever.
So you and Black Wall Street are dealing with the same problem. That's basically what you're saying.
Yeah, Black Wall Street, brother. If you got the 40-year-old woman, if she's gonna act right, I'm a polygynous man. I'll put it this way. I'm a polygynous man. I tell women that from like the first date. She can be a concubine to let her know she's second place and wait for your 25 or younger wife. That's gonna be one. That's what I would do if I was.
She gotta at least be like fourth place.
Well, I mean, she
put her fourth place, man.
He can put her wherever he wants to put her, but she ain't a wife.
No.
She ain't a wife. That's all we
Oh
know.
man, you know we don't practice cuckoldry.
She's a Sunday school concubine.
Oh
Yeah,
my! Her Sunday. Oh damn!
Hey, she can't be a wife. She can't be a wife. That's all I know.
Oh, man.
It was good enough for Abraham. So I mean,
She had her chance. Why would she divorce a man if she got 3 kids by him? Like, you 40 years old, you put yourself back out there on the market, and you got a little girl, and they all teenagers. Like, why even, why do yourself like that? Why do your kids like that?
You're not dating April Mason, are you?
What? Hello? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Let's go ahead and do this, man. I want to get my man JJ Bees a cowboy. We got a couple of things we want to say. JJ, what's up, man? You gotta be tell us what you want to say.
Let me say something real quick before I have to,
Go ahead, brother.
I got one thing to say. These idiots with these reprobate minds, they didn't learn from the story of Adam and Eve. And Eve was the one who opened up the door. She was the gateway for the devil. And one of my favorite sayings is, the devil's favorite weapon against humanity is the woman. And a non-virtuous woman has about as much value as a wooden penny at best and detrimental in the words, quote unquote.
All right, bro.
That's all I got to say, and I'm out.
I appreciate that, Alvin, man. Welcome to the broadcast. We're an hour into this thing. Y'all make sure y'all keep typing these big black nuts in the chat room. I don't want anybody to know what we're talking about. And of course, the big black nuts I'm referring to are the ones that are pictured on the thumbnail. You use them to build things with. So those big black nuts are apparently a rare commodity. All right, so if you got big black nuts, right? If your nuts are big and they're black and they're, you make sure you protect those nuts. Okay, protect your nuts. Anyway, man, enough of you, man. What do you think about these women out here begging for? The brothers are not donating their sperm. It's like we only 2% of the group of men, 2% of the population of people who donate. 2% of the number of men who donate sperm are we're 2%. What do you think? It's late. I'm tired, y'all. But go ahead. What do you think?
It's all good. Salute to you, Uncle D.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for having me. I'm sorry I'm late. I didn't realize you were
you
were
good,
on. I didn't get the notification.
I didn't realize I was gonna do this until I saw that goddamn article this morning. I was taking today off. You see what I'm saying? But I wanted to be the first one because this is meaningful. This means something. See,
100%.
All the smoke and mirrors is gone now. See, these hoes need these big black nuts. All that bull crap that they was talking back in there, and what they don't want everybody. They don't want the Pookie and Ray Ray to be the baby daddy if they got a choice. Oh no, they want brothers with 6 figures. They want people like Alvin. They want people like Black Wall Street. is making plenty of money and tall and shit. That's what they want. You know, they want you handsome. You see what I mean? That's what they want. They want you guys, Jason, Khalid, Douglas. They want intelligent dude. They don't want the man. They don't want that. You understand what I'm saying?
No.
And they want you to give it to them like you a ConcuSurf. You understand what I mean? Shout out to my man Joe Swain. Hold on a minute. Let it all stop. Don't cash your seed to the ground. Protect your legacy at all costs. Thank you so much, Joey Swan and Shaz Andre. These big black nuts. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I need some more cash apps. These big black nuts need to be the cash app. All right. Or the paper, the super chat.
Super chat.
Well, go ahead, man. I didn't mean to cut you off, Alvin.
Nah. Brother Garvey was onto something. This is Darwinism. This is it. This is Darwinism. This is survival of the fittest. You know, obviously there's going to be some adjustments, some things that are different, but yes, you know, we're walking with our feet. We're not getting married, right? We wear condoms more than any other group of men.
There's another one.
They have more babies with other men than they do with us. so it's the last straw. It's over for them. There's another guy that I think that you would absolutely love, that I think Ninja listens. He was talking about a container ship that was out in the ocean and tried to sail through a hurricane. And this one of them big old ships, and it sunk in like 3 minutes, just because of the nature of the waves and how the ship was built. And he was making parallels of that in the black community. And I was like, and you see a lot of the parallels, and this is actually that last nail in the coffin where we're not even giving it up for free.
Ain't that something? You know, like I mean, I'm proud of the black man. I'm glad that you have enough self-esteem and enough love for yourself, no matter what they say about it, no matter what they've taken from us. We're like, no, I'm not just gonna give you my semen so that you can have a whole bunch of kids out there that I don't have anything to do with, and I'm their father, I'm their biological father. That says a lot. I appreciate the pride. You know, I appreciate the pride you black men have. Let's go ahead and open the panel up, man. We could have a free, just open unmute yourselves, guys. We got a great panel here. Jason, Black Wall Street, y'all haven't spoken. Douglas, y'all haven't spoken in a while. What do you think about the fact that our fertility rate as black people is only 1.7? That's not even replacement level. Let me explain. Replacement level is 2. In other words, she has 2 children, one for the man and one for her. Okay. If you have a fertility rate that's less than 2, that means you're dying off. And once you start on that track, it's hard to get back to where you got 3. Fertility rate is 2.53, you know, or even more. So what do you guys think about that? And then couple that with the fact that brothers we're not doing it. You know, as far as the sperm banks. What are your thoughts? Shout out to Eddie Washington, Black Wall Street, Jason, Douglas, Khalid, everybody. The panel's open.
Brother Dennis?
Yeah.
It's even lower here in Barbados. It's 1.62.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, but like
so if you want to call it like a referendum, I think the men here in Barbados have voted, and they're voting with their feet, they're voting with their sexual habits, and they're voting to say no more of this nonsense.
What's going on? What's going on down there, man? Like, well, I mean,
there's a confluence of factors. So the legal system here is a bit of a joke. You know, Family Law Act, you know, supposedly gives rights equally to both parties, but the rules are frequently flouted. I mean, I know a guy here who hasn't seen his children in about 2 years.
Wow.
3 kids. His wife got poisoned by the mother, her own mother, and there's been legal rulings to allow him access, and they've just totally ignored them. And he's made his peace with it. I think he made his peace with it last year that, you know, like, I'm just not going to see my children until they're older.
So you telling me in a black run country,
exactly,
black men are dealing with the same thing in the family law courts that white men and black men are dealing with in the UK. All men are dealing with in the UK, Australia, and America. In a black run country,
When America catches the cold, we catch the flu, sir.
God damn. Who is y'all legal system based off? Is it based off of the
It's
UK?
based off the Westminster system. And I dare say to you, sir, if you look back historically, the slave system that decimated so many of you Americans was perfected right here in Barbados.
Ah, yes. Many of us don't understand that the islands, whether it's Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Barbados, those were the seasoning islands. In other words, they would bring the slaves from Africa, drop them off in the Caribbean, and that's where you were broken there. They broke you there, and then they brought you up here to the United States. So slavery in the Caribbean was horrible.
And unlike Dominican Republic and Jamaica and maybe like Guyana, Suriname, where some of the slaves could run away and become like maroons and withhold some parts of their culture, there was nowhere to hide in Barbados. We are a relatively flat country. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. My last name is Bell. It's French. I'm named after a plantation. Most of our names are after plantation owners, you know. And we've had, you know, emancipation and all the rest of that from like 1838 or so, but we really had a revolution kind of in 1937, which helps with some labor rights, but the mentality is still here very strongly in our people. And
it's still got that slave mentality. You saying they still do? Yeah, absolutely.
And I think the only way that I've seen men of my age, because I'm a millennial and younger, the only way that they're voting or being able to exert some sort of control over this madness is controlling where their seed goes.
Yeah, man. That, I mean, you know, I play the Negro game with y'all. I play the FBA ADOS game with y'all, but I always tell y'all we're better together. You see what I mean? Like, we have a common history. Even it extends to our African brothers. If you get down to it, hey, I'm Black American. But what I'm saying is we have this shared history. We, you know, again, coming from LA, I'm gonna rep my side. You understand what I'm saying? But we're better together. I hope that we can get over this intra-racial split that we're having right now. You see what I mean? Because it just is what it is. Shout out to my man MS Delta guy. This brother you know, my grandmother was named King. I trace my heritage back to the King plantation in North Carolina, which was a breeding farm. You see what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying. You understand? Like, basically, her last name, her surname was from a slave plantation. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, brother, thank you so much. Who else who is a hot topic, man? We talking about these nuts. Y'all type these nuts in the chat room. Shout out to my MS Delta guy.
It's a couple of factors, Uncle D.
Yeah, go ahead, and then we're gonna go to Douglas. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying, because 80% of our women, they have children with 15 to 20% of the men that's in the community. So it's very slim pickings from what we have to choose from, and then you break down which women are available. That's traditional, femininity versus masculinity dealing with our women. So and then, like me, for example, I come from a family where men had a lot of women,
right?
And my closest cousin to me started having kids in the 9th grade. So as a child growing up, watching my big cousin, who I looked up to, his baby mama coming over, pulling him out the house, trying to fight him, putting him on child support. He was going through that shit. You know what I mean? Ever since he was 17, 18 years old. That's one of the reasons I don't have kids today.
Oh, wow. That's that PTSD. I know just what you're talking about. Go ahead.
The
crazy thing is, no matter how long you wait, if you deal with these things, you still gonna be dealing with the same stuff. You just gonna be in your late 30s or 40s. It don't change.
It scared the hell out of me knowing that a woman try to stop me from seeing my kids, man.
I'm dealing with it right now, bro. Yeah. Douglas, man, you wanted to jump in there, man. What do you want to add, bro?
Yeah, like piggyback off what the brother Black Wall Street was saying, that they sleep with 20% of the population, and most of that 20% is not where the resources are. So you want to be a baby mama by default, and you want to put your children in poverty not to have any resources once they grow up, and it's time for them to go to college. There ain't no resource for them because you chose to have babies by really the poor part of the community and the less intelligent. So you breeding for poverty and uneducated children. with low IQs, and then you effeminizing them and using your son as some kind of effeminized thug pit bull to set them on whoever. So this is like what you were talking about, Black Wall Street. Like she had 2 sons. Me personally, when I meet women like that, she got teenage sons. Sooner or later, y'all probably gonna get to fight. You know what I'm saying? Or she gonna sick them on you, and then you gotta protect yourself. So you just pin yourself in a situation that could go wrong. Cause mama gonna always be right. She might be dead wrong, and you just voice your opinion. But then she set her son on. I went through that. Like one of my aunties, but I was young. I didn't know we was a teenager. One of her boyfriend got out of line. She called my mama. Me and her son, we ran up on the dude. I regret it now as I got older because I realized they were using me like a dog or so. But we didn't do nothing to him. We just ran up on him, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you better not do that. But as I thought about it as an older man, we ran up, you checked that man and we became friends later on. And I realized he was actually a good dude. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
The thing is, you hit on something that we don't often hit on, man. You talk about IQ. IQ, high intelligence is the new rich. Give me an intelligent person and let's insert some hard work in there. You can get the money. But what happens, and does anybody know, and I'm gonna ask this question, and I didn't make this up, which parent does intelligence come, or your propensity of intelligence come from? Anybody know?
I guess the mother. Mother side?
It's the mother.
Yep.
It's the mother. The mother, depending on how intelligent the mother is, that's going to determine the propensity for intelligence of the child. Now, I'm going to say something that's going to sound racist as hell. You tell me if I'm wrong. We like Barack Obama, right?
I'm just
right? We like him.
I see where you're going.
We agree he's an intelligent man, right? Where'd he get his intelligence from? Okay.
But
so when you got a lot of black men who are breeding or who are having women who are, and we know that Asian women, Nigerian women, African women. I mean, look at these Nigerian women when they come over here. You want a real black woman? That's cool. But you also want intelligence. So a better fit for you, black man. And I want you brothers to marry black women. I do. But if you go outside, cool. But breed for intelligence over good looks. So if you want a real black woman who's going to give birth to intelligent children, you need to get you an African woman. Especially go down these local colleges and get you one of them PhD girls.
Nigerians.
They beating everybody. You see what I'm saying? I'm just saying. And then here's another one. White women, Asian women. They got intelligence. What we've done is we've downbreeded our generations. We used to breed for intelligence and class and all that stuff. Listen to some of these ball players that played football back in the 1980s. See how well spoken they are, Marcus.
Yeah.
Like Marcus Allen. Now look, compare that to some of these cats that you hear on here right now. It's like, man, bro, who taught you how to speak? You see what I'm saying? So intelligent, but that's a hot one, man. Y'all hit that. Go ahead.
Uncle D, I was gonna say that Malcolm X, 2 books, the autobiography of Malcolm X by Alex Haley and A Life of Reinvention written by Manning Marable were the best 2 books written on him. But he said that the black woman, the mother, is the first teacher. And he went into what you was just teaching us about. However, he said he would never trust a woman more than 70%.
Well, that's some pimp talk. Remember, he came from the little pimping background too. But Alvin, I know you chomping at the bit to get in on that, man. If you're looking for intelligence, why would we dump our sperm off at a sperm bank and have one of these dumb hoes out
Uncle
there?
D.
You know what I'm saying?
Uncle D. So I was doing research today. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going back. I was like, you know what? I've been out of the dating game for a minute. I don't really listen to music like everybody, like the young, what are the young kids listening to? What are the young kids? What's really going on, right? And I happened upon this girl, Sukiyana. And she just dropped a music video. Uncle D, when I say this, what's happening right now shouldn't surprise you, it shouldn't surprise you. It's that bad, bro. It is
a whole generation of mumble rappers. I know they.
It's mumble rap plus the twerking and the
rampant hoarding. Rampant.
It's different.
Rampant.
It's different. It's different.
Boy. Protect these nuts. Everybody in the chat room.
Yeah.
Protect these big black nuts, man. You don't want to breed with that. You got to let that die. But we got a whole generation, Jason and Brother Garvey. We got a whole generation of women who've given birth to children who, I mean, what
Well, there's one aspect that we're also forgetting about is inbreeding. Whether you know it or not, because I'll tell you right now, I'm in a sibling at my father's funeral. Now it was a male, but what if it been a female? And what if we had never met? And now you factor in these sperm donations. We already know there's children right now. Some of us grew up with people that to this day don't know who their father is. How do they know the person that they're with isn't a sibling? They don't.
That's a big deal up in the Baltimore area because that's despite what you think, Maryland was a huge place for breeding farms.
It was a farm, yeah.
And remember, a woman was awarded, she was supposed to have 10 babies, and a black man, and he was supposed to get 100 women pregnant a year. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of these people have the same fathers and great grandfathers and whatnot. So yeah, that's a big thing. I kind of touched on that once when I was talking to Dr. Tiasan Johnson and BGS Ibmore. You know, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man, and I've said this before. You know, from my science background, I recognize what we're dealing with is a toxic culture, and the only way to flush out a toxin is to dissipate it. Whether you listen to Neely Fuller or Marcus Garvey, they all say we got to get up out of here. You see what I mean? We need an influx of black people with a positive culture. But here's the crazy thing. Here's what I see happening. Even our educated and our elite are taking that negative toxic culture up into the middle class and the upper. How many ghetto rich people have you seen? You black, you a billionaire, and you still ghetto as hell and unsophisticated and uncouth. So
I got a prime example.
Go ahead.
I got a prime example of a black woman who should have never ended up where she is right now. She had opportunity to avoid it. Angela Simmons, Reverend Run's daughter. Angela Simmons, your daughter, your dad is multimillionaire, Hall of Fame rapper, one of the pioneers, and you had a son by a guy who got killed in a gang killing in his driveway in Atlanta. And now the last time I saw her, she was hanging out in the club with Yo Gotti. And Yo Gotti can get shot at any moment. And now your son won't have his mother or his father. And she has no excuse to be where she is.
Yeah, was that the same Angela Simmons that was posing in a bikini on Instagram sometime?
That's pretty much what she does now. She's starting it up, trying to get attention. But she has no reason. Romeo, her little Percy Miller Jr., wanted to take her seriously. Romeo now, he has a young woman. I think he's married to her now. He has a son. How many bad stories have you ever heard about Romeo? None. He's a grown man now. We haven't had any bad stories about him. He wanted to take Angela serious, and she chose to go the other way. So it doesn't matter. They're choosing this at all levels. Get out. I'm hiding my nuts in Brazil. I don't know about y'all.
And ladies, I'm gonna ask, I know there's some ladies out there. Why would we want women like you having our children? I mean, this is what men are thinking. You want to know why 52% of black men aren't married? Because we don't find you marriageable. Why you can't even get these dudes to donate to the sperm bank? Because they don't want you raising their children. That's what you got to understand. Men are logical. Why would I want you? If I wanted kids, I'll go have kids. And the ladies, this is what I see. Like they're trying to say, oh, we have a shortage on black men. We can't get them, and we're going to try to pay them on. No, we don't want our children dealing with this that we're dealing with right here. For the past 50 years, y'all didn't like us. Okay. But now the rubber is about to hit the road. You're 35, 45 years old and you need a baby. And so now, bam, there you go. You want some black man. You don't want us. You want our children. it's a horrible situation, man. Who wants to jump on that, man? But anything else?
I think it's like having a tub of dirty water. If you want to put clean water in a tub of dirty water,
That's the only way.
it's just gonna become dirty. So how do you get a tub full of clean water? You gotta let out the dirty water first. So that's what our culture is. We gotta change our culture. Our American culture, even though it's toxic, it's attractive. And just like all over the world, like Jason BGI, these women in other countries look up to our women. So we don't stop this toxic feminism at the base, then it won't be a decent woman nowhere in the world probably in 30 or 40 years.
Period. And I'm telling you, that's the agenda. That's the agenda.
It's going to be the status quo of what it is.
It's I think the solution is dick discipline, man. Dick discipline and withholding resources from these women. Once they get the idea that, like, man, these men, they're not going to put up with us if we're not going to be feminine and be traditional, or either they just going to pay us for sex and not deal with us. I think they'll get it together.
I think the ship is sinking and it's halfway underwater and we don't even realize it yet. I think not a chance. I think that us dropping off our seed at the seed bank is essentially exactly like, because it's letting some of them get away from it, right? It's perpetuating the situation. And so no, you don't get none of that. You have no idea how excited this makes me. You have because in the back of my head, I'm like, you know what? We're not as dumb as we think, right? The more intelligent black men I meet, and I don't know any deadbeat fathers. I don't know any, right? I got all I know is I know more good guys than knuckleheads personally. So I know there's a lot of them out there, and we all can't be having the same experience, and we are.
Yeah, it's more black men working hard every day than out here, you know what I'm saying, thugging it out. But like they the ones who get out of shine though, you know what I'm saying? So it's just them pushing that toxic culture once again.
I wanted to bring to your attention that same piece that you shared this morning, Brother Dennis. You will note that one of the main contributors, the quotes, came from a member of the alphabet community, shall we say. You will note that they've turned their affections one from the natural affections of men towards each other, but all they need us for now is our baby juice. And I say no, because it's like you have spent the last half of a century saying that you're strong and you're independent. You don't need no man. I've had Christian women who go to church with me, Brother Dennis, telling me that so many single men in my church, myself incled, and they're saying that many-ish, but they want to have a child. They want to have a child.
You talking about does that include? Does that include Jesus? Does that include Jesus too? Jesus ain't nothing either. You in
or
church.
the disciples, or Paul, or any of them.
This is from the Griot staff.
Yep.
Yeah, because you got
shout out to Afro Science Scholar. He said essentially, Black world is going to have to depend on AA men to stop the infection before the whole Black body dies from spreading infection. I would have to agree with that, but but I don't think we can do it, because
what do we owe this
you got a government over here that is financing this. Yeah, we out. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We out. Yeah. You know what I mean? We out. We don't have a homeland. We don't have our own language. We don't have our own. You stripped us of everything, and now you want us to help you again. We fought in all your wars. You empowered these women. You empowered these women, and so you stuck with them. And that's and I think that's how a lot of Black American men feel. Like we're not doing it. We're not fighting that battle. We're gonna go to Brazil. We're gonna drop ourselves off in the greater African diaspora and enjoy our lives. That's what I'm teaching my sons to do. And I can't see, why would I tell them to go marry one of the same women I'm saying I'm running away from, because I don't want to deal with that in my household. Black don't stop. Black wasn't made in Alabama, in Louisiana, and in Mississippi. And it don't stop there in the United States. Black African is everywhere. That's what I'm saying. But Anyway, go ahead, brother. Anybody else want to add something into this? And a big shout out to my
Yeah,
man right here. Thank
I
you
was
so
just
much.
gonna say,
What are y'all thoughts
Uncle
on
D.
this?
I was gonna say, Uncle D, to the gentleman that's on the panel. Like y'all already know, it's a lot of women out here that have, man, they built beautiful lives for themselves. However, they're at the age
Mhm.
now to where they just want us for our sperm. Like Uncle D was saying, like I've dated a
Yeah.
couple of attorneys and a couple of nurses and different women like that that's in their early 30s. But like I was talking to one girl earlier, this girl, she got horses and dogs and all type of shit. It's like she ain't got no time for me. You know what I'm saying?
She needs
She
a
come
wife.
every 4
think
hours they gotta be home to take their pets out and shit like that. Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. She gave us the game on the dog moms. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think the lovely ladies understand the symbiotic relationship of them and us, them and men, right? So, you know, they think that being a man is like a suit that we just put on and we walk out the door and we don't, and there's nothing to us. So they think, oh, I could just buy the house, I could buy the stuff, and I can be a man. I can do exactly what a man can do, except for I'm better and because I'm smarter, and then I can give birth too. So that's what they think it is. But they go out and they get
Shout out to
overextended,
Race Bannon.
right? They go out, they get overextended with their finances, right? They go out and they think that they can buy themselves all this stuff, right? And they overextend themselves and they end up not having the one thing that they really wanted and needed, which was family. And that's save some money, find a man, cooperate, have a family, settle down, start to plan, let the man plan, and or you guys plan and you do something, and then you go on about your business. But they think that that process is just easy, and a man, you could just plug a dude in, from what I can tell.
Well, we're a utility.
Alvin, I
We're a
agree.
utility. They can go out here and make all the bad decisions they want. It's always gonna be some duck around to absorb whatever mistakes she done made about them. No matter what she do, it's gonna be some dude trying to save her. And believe me,
Douglas,
she
I
she
nearly
know
was
what
one of those
guys like
guys,
that.
bro.
She gonna have a phone full of Supermans to try to save her if anything go wrong. So yeah, we just a utility to them. And see, they look at. I mean, I don't want to get spiritual now, but I was just out like yesterday and I looked in the woman's eye, bro. I could have swore I seen the devil, bro. That's how bad it got. That's how bad some of these women getting soulless out here, bro. You know what I'm saying?
How
It's
little
still
respect
some
do
out here, but some of these women, I thought I seen a demon in this girl eye, bro. You know what I'm saying? For real,
You
real
saw
talk.
what you saw, bro.
I've seen that darkness, brother. I've seen that darkness.
You seen that darkness on people. I ain't the only
I'm
one.
telling
Y'all
you.
seeing this out here. It's
They
the
call it,
spirit of
can I be
Jezebel
crude, Uncle D?
rolling these women's souls, bro.
Go ahead,
They
man.
call,
Jump
they,
in.
they,
It's over.
they call it
bro.
they call it the 1,000-cock stare.
Yep.
They need some anointing oil. They need some prayers from the elders.
Oh,
they
Jesus.
need an exorcism, bro. They need all the juice they can get.
They didn't see too many of them up close, Uncle D. They didn't see too many of them up close. They
Yeah, I guess this whole
pardon me, sorry, but the thing that really infuriates me, right, as a man, you know, I was not a select man as I was a younger man or anything. I got married fairly early. I went down the whole religion line and tried to do things the right way, the godly way, only to be rejected in the end and said that, you know, she doesn't see it part of her God-given destiny to be a wife and a mother after like 14 years. So that was news to me. But you know, being back out here, I'm being seen as a stepfather. That's my only role. That my role as a man is to be the cleanup man behind somebody else's messes. And I'm saying no. I'd rather die alone, bro. At this point, I'd rather die alone.
Yeah.
But I know there's other options, but I'd rather die alone.
And that's men really feel that way. We would rather die alone than be stuck with women that keep hell in our house and paying for kids that sometimes don't respect us, sometimes don't acknowledge us. You know, I've told my sons, let you get up on the stage and my name not be the first name to come out your mouth when you say thank you. You know, for all the people. Let me find out, especially my sons. I got 3 boys. Let me find out that when the word came out, hey, I want to thank, if it's not for this person, I better be the first name. I'll come behind Jesus, but I might be right. I need to be right after that. Because I told my sons, I said, if you disrespect your father, you could expect that your children will be disrespectful to you and not acknowledge you in the work that you've done to help get them along. I'm so disappointed, fellas, at the idea that this article, and I I don't really like the griot because it always has a female bend. But I'm so even this is a new low for them to think that we are so cheap and so easy that all they got to do is snap their fingers and we just gonna give our sperm away to these fraternity clinics. It's insulting.
Well, it's just like no voting, no bucking.
No, I don't know if this is the same article, but one of the ones I read today was in Newsweek.
Wow,
it's the death throes of a dying community. Alvin, it's a dying community.
Yeah, I'll double check and see who the author was. It could be could have been the same. I have to dig into a different thing to find the article, but I was looking at it today, and the one that I was reading or referencing today was a Newsweek article.
Wow, this is in the griot. They might have got it from Newsweek, but
or one or the other. I mean, but so I mean, you were speaking of it because it was in the griot, but I'm saying no, it was in Newsweek.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, it was also in the mainstream publications for.
What does this mean? You know, where are my conspiracy theorists at? What does this mean that you got a major publication putting in the newspaper that there's a black sperm donor shortage? What does this mean? Like, I always try to look for the deeper meaning. When I see television shows and new trends, Black Panther, what do they mean? What's this? Why are they showing us black superheroes now? Why do we have a black president now? Shout out to Shocks 112. Quiet as kept. They've been going to their Bucci friends for babies. And that's another thing we need to talk about too. I don't know what a Bucci is. Somebody might have to translate.
Oh, you can guess. It's part of that community.
Oh, okay. Bucci. I don't know. Okay, I don't get it. My bad. I'm 48.
If you were a man and you don't have a V, you got a.
You don't have a coochie, you got a Bucci.
Yeah, it's the guys out here chasing the rainbow. It's the guys chasing the
people, man. They getting the gay dude.
Gay friends.
Yeah. Exactly what we're saying.
So basically,
that's why I'll never be trusting the gay friends anyway. Gay friends.
Right. Here's the thing. That's still a man, fellas, and you gay today, and you're gonna be paying child support tomorrow. And the judge is not gonna get it where you was gay when you donated that baby battery. There's a little bit of safety involved in donating to a sperm bank because there's what's the word I'm looking at? There's anonymous or what's the word? Say that.
Anonymity.
Yeah, anonymity associated with that. They don't know your identity, but the minute they find out your identity, they can put you too on child support. So you guys out there, because here's the thing, and I took a poll today. I asked how many of you men have been propositioned, by some woman or some lesbian women or whatever to just donate some baby batter, or hey, we could just have a baby. You ain't got to be part of the baby life. Have any women come at you with that? If you guys in the panel, you four guys, okay, Alvin, Jason, and Garvey, goddamn, three out of.
I had a woman tell me I reminded her of her baby daddy.
Oh Jesus!
She trying to have twins. So my thing is, there's some dangers associated with that too. It's a setup because you could end up on child support for a baby that you ain't want, didn't have nothing to do with. Can you imagine that? Now you financing some lesbian couple's lifestyle because you paying $2,500, $3,000 in child support every month.
Some of these bisexual women that you're dating.
It starts out really good. They always say, "Oh no, you won't have to worry about anything." I'm working, and I have a great career. You just provide me with a little bit of the juice, and it'll be good. But everything is for a time, and that's
called the okie doke.
I think this is a counterattack. I think that what they're doing a counterattack against the passport bro. So the passport bro want to leave and find wives in other countries. So now they saying that the sperm bank for black males is empty. So they trying to sell subliminal to, hey, once you come over here and donate some of this sperm, we give you $500 so we can have these black women produce more people to go into our penitentiary. So it might be a counterattack. Pin my Koofy hat on, you know what I'm saying? For this. I need y'all to explain something to me though. If they hate us so much,
right? They hate us so much. We've heard they don't like. Why is it that why don't you just go have Zaddy's baby? There's plenty of white men donating sperm. Why don't you go have one of them? I don't understand that. What if you love them so you hate us? You know, we ain't no good. We low. Why you want to have our children if we that bad? Or maybe you just been lying. Maybe we are the prize. You know we are the prize, and you don't want that white man. You want his money. You want his status. You really want that white woman status. I don't know. Am I off base on this? Y'all type big black nuts in the chat room, man. Go ahead.
I had a white man tell me that. He said black women just be wanting them for their money. Same thing, bro. They didn't feel like they got no resources.
You're dead on with that. Because when they talk about the whole, I'm going to divest and all that, that's really more about using, Kenneth as the footstool to get that position of white women. That's the prize. It's not him. See, the reason black women are really mad at us is because we can't put them in that white woman position. That's the whole nut of why they're mad at us. We didn't kill enough white men we didn't delete enough white men to put them in the position that white women are in. And so they look at him, okay, well, if I get with him, maybe he'll do it, but they're not. That's why they got those 1.2 million children that they're blaming on us. And we're not the ones. And here's the other thing. What black women aren't paying attention to politically, the Democrats are bringing in all these illegal immigrants, just like they did in Florida, and the governor of Florida sent them to Martha's Vineyard. They're bringing these people in because they know they're about to lose black men, either because we're relocating out of the country, or we're about to shift over to the right a little bit, even if we're independent, but we're going to stop voting for Democrats. And eventually, they're not going to need black women. So black women in America won't have men to fall back on. The Democrats won't need them, so they're not going to pander and try to give them anything. They won't have any power base. And so what are you going to do? If you have too much debt, they already froze Biden's plan to remove the 20,000, even though you got like 80,000 on average as a group of women because you got the highest average. You don't have anything to fall back on. No men, no political connections. That's about to be eroded. I don't think they're paying attention. I know they're not paying attention to that.
Yeah, it's gonna be
There's a lot of things that are circling around black American women, and they're not paying attention. And the sperm bank is part of it.
Cargo
it does do it.
Yeah,
that cargo ship sunk in 3 minutes.
And you know, if you think about it, when we was all young men, who were the first one telling us to grow to vote Democrat before we even old enough to vote? It was the black women in our family. Vote
Big
Democrat,
Mama.
vote Democrat. So you
That's why they're still doing it now.
automatic brainwash to vote Democrat. And then as we done got older, we just saying we see why they want us to vote Democrat, because you is at the top of the party. You on the right hand of the Democrats. And we at the bottom. We not getting the resources from the Democrat. You is. You getting all these programs. You getting all these subsidies and all this.
It's very much short-sighted. You know, they don't just like we were talking about yesterday, Uncle D, they don't, how so many people don't even understand the First Amendment and how it works. Right. So not really right. So just kind of not understanding how we have been, black men have been protecting them, whether they really know it or not. Right. And we've been cannon fodder for 40 or 50 years. And now when we put our hands behind our back and we step back and they get to really feel what them handcuffs really feel like. Right. Or they really, they get to feel like what it's really like to be cold outside, or really not. They're running out of pookies. Right. They're running out of us. Now, whether or not that
why don't they just go to Pookie and get a baby? Why don't Pookie knock them up? Why don't they just go to any hood in Baltimore or Compton or Watts?
I would imagine
somewhere down in Atlanta, and why don't they go get a Pookie to knock them up?
I mean, Pookie's it's expensive to go. So it's like the successful ones.
Pookie's throwing the shoot at the baby mama.
Oh, Pookie is in rebellion right now. Pookie's not cooperating. That's what you're saying. Damn, they can't. Pookie want a white girl. Pookie's I ain't tired.
I heard Pookie was in the DR.
Hey, you know what? I did see that.
Pookie got a passport.
I heard Pookie was in Puerto Rico. He making a round.
Now they're done. Now they're really done.
You
if
know
Pookie
what?
got a
That's what's
passport,
bad.
they
Go out
really
there.
done.
And that
Pookie,
really
really
upsets
done.
them. Now
scamming.
they don't even have
Pookie paid up on
Pookie
his
as
child
a-
support and
Is
he's in the DR.
stealing Social Security numbers from his baby mom.
Oh
Who got there
man.
for
Oh my
sure?
God. Y'all got some
You get
scammers in
credit cards
America,
and
man.
fucking
Wow.
messing up her
Oh
credit.
man. Oh my God. Oh my God. Man.
Because you're
Pookie
right
said
though. That's
somebody
what's
said
so
Pookie.
funny.
Yeah, we used
You
to
are
that cheat
They
on
need
y'all.
to
That was
stick
it.
Pookie on his
Yeah,
passport
you
so
caught
we'll
me.
know
You
the
caught me.
Pookie. Oh, that's
Now,
crazy.
these new Pookies on some more shit, man.
Yeah, we need a
Hey,
Pookie
I'm gonna,
passport so we know who's who.
Yeah, man. Come on, bro.
Oh,
Like, nah, you can't hang out with us, Pookie. We ain't trying to go to jail in Mexico, man. We ain't fucking with you. But anyway,
no.
man, this has been a great panel. I'm enjoying this. Shout out to my man Shocks 112. Dennis, you should play the Bobby Womack if you think you're lonely now on the heads. Yeah. And then my other man up there, he came through. He said Shaz Andrade said had a side piece down for H Strong. When she hit 36, she asked me for a kid. That was the end of that relationship. Got 4 under my roof, not trusting the side piece with my legacy. There's another thing, and that's a reoccurring theme. Ladies, these men are saying that they don't want you raising their children. They don't want low-caliber women raising their children. Dudes will have sex with you and not deem you marriage material. That's what he meant when he said you a side chick, you in a category. And so, hey man, this is an interesting thing,
If you
man.
think you're lonely now,
What
wait
else?
until this flight, girl.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
song of this
And what are they
decade.
gonna? Yeah. What are we gonna do, fellas? I mean, it seems, Alvin has brought it up. This is a sinking ship. Politics are gonna change. Black men, and let me say this, and let me be one of the first to announce this. All these brothers is going overseas. The vast majority of them are coming right back with their wives. And they're going to move right back into the same houses and communities and neighborhoods with their foreign wives that Black people occupy right now. And so what you're going to begin to see is a separation, because that Latina woman, that Nigerian woman, that African woman she's not going to be the same as that Black American woman. They're not trying to go to the cookout. You're not going to be eating pig feet. You're going to be eating roti. You see what I'm saying, on Christmas Day?
There's another point I want to make when you finish about that.
No, but go ahead, brother. But I guess my point is this: there's going to be a Black community, but it's not going to be the same one we have here. It's almost like this one is burnt to the ground. It's in its ashes, and there's going to be another Black community to raise up. We might be more in numbers, but the mothers are going to be a different group of women. It's like, it reminds me of like the founding of Rome with Romulus and Remus and the RAPE of the Sabine women. They left their country. They found some women other places, those foreign women, and that's how Rome was formed. All you need to form a nation is the men who head the nation and the women who give birth to the people who are in the nation. That's how, I hate to say it, unimportant women are in the big scheme of it. And it's surprising to me that they would even think that they're the prize. And now you see with the fact that it all stops when you can't get the Black man's big Black nuts. Okay, when you can't get his seed. Go ahead, Garvey.
Well, I was going to say, because the point you were making about the women coming in and them being different, there's going to come in the next few years, especially when it comes to white women here in America that are having children with Black men, where those women, because they're mothers to Black sons now, they're going to become more vocal about the type of young ladies they don't want their sons associating with, which is going to be ADOS Black women, young Black women, and they're going to be accused of being racist, when really all they're doing is protecting their Black sons from women who will derail their future. So I guarantee you're going to have these Black women say, oh, they hate Black women, and these Black, no, there's a cultural difference. It's not going to be racial. That woman has to protect her son. He can't become Patrick Mahomes with Bonquisha on his arm.
No.
It's not going to happen.
And the same
He'll
thing,
never make it to the league.
thing's going to happen. Same thing is gonna
You
happen
can't
with
be
Latino
Barack.
women and Asian women. Yeah, but the
Yeah,
same thing
yeah.
is gonna happen with Latino women and Asian women. They're all, and that's what I meant. They're all gonna get together in the community and basically segregate themselves from what is now known as the ADOS community, especially the women in the ADOS community, because they don't want those cultural impressions. Their daddy didn't like it, so why would the mother allow their son to be exposed to that? You know, these women around the world, black men go visit these countries, and we tell these women our stories, and they find them amazing to believe. And I don't say amazing in a good way. And then when you bring those women here and they see, oh wow, this is real, and I'm dating a black man, and so they're gonna feel just like what Brother Garvey said. They're gonna feel open and free to discuss exactly how they feel, and they're not gonna bite their tongues because that's a mother's love. Anyway, man, y'all make sure y'all do this for me. Make sure y'all type big black nuts. These big black nuts in the chat room. Okay. Go ahead, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about these big black nuts. If you didn't believe your big black nuts was important before this conversation, you should believe that these nuts that you have, that you've been blessed with, are important now. The nation turns on these nuts. Okay.
These nuts
we
on
talking
strike,
about a
Uncle
special
Dennis.
with the nuts on strike, man. We are on strike. These nuts are on strike, man. Oh man, look, what we gonna do is, man, we're gonna take a little quick break and we'll be right back. Y'all make sure y'all hit the number one, but we'll be right back in a minute.
Peace. You know, I hear a lot of my black brothers.
Sherazad Ali, okay? You say in your book,
okay, let's
and
get
I'm quoting,
Come on.
okay, the black man in America is the only male on earth, including every continent, who is disrespected by the women in his nation.
That's true.
This situation does not exist anyplace else among the billions of people inhabiting our planet except here in America.
That's right.
The other black men, the yellow men, the red men, the brown men, and the white men are all honored and respected by their respective nations. All other women recognize and accept that the man is the authority, the ruler, and the leader. Only here in the United States, in the black nation, scattered throughout the United States, is the black man neglected. That's pretty powerful.
And it's absolutely true. We have been displaced. A lot of us don't really understand what slavery actually did to us and how much psychological trauma it did to us regarding what our proper roles are.
Welcome back to the broadcast, man. Look, this has been a very interesting conversation. I hope y'all appreciate it. And despite the humor, it's a serious conversation. I think we have a turning point here. And if you black men didn't realize how valuable and how important you were before, you should now. And the other thing is realize that we're all on the same page. If out of all the black men in America, 14 million of us, you only have a very tiny percentage of 12 black men in California. That's all they got donating sperm. That lets you know we're on the same page. We feel the same way about our children. We love ourselves. We're not just going to have our kids out there some ugly ass broad. Excuse me, I shouldn't cuss. I'm trying to stop. We're not just going to have some woman out there who we don't know raising our children. We care more enough about ourselves and our lineage. We recognize it as that's unfair. That's not right. We've been treated so poorly in this country that we fought and defend, that we police, that we act as firemen, that we help repair and we help maintain. We don't want to bring our children into this world, our sons especially, I would think, and them not have our guidance. We know how horrible it is to be raised by a single mother. So why would we partake in that? And just think about this. Let's say you are out there and you donated some sperm some time back, and you just up walking around. Every time you see some child's face or some person's face that looks like yours or looks like a relative, you may be wondering, damn, is that my child? Is that my baby right there? That's, to me, is like, that would be like walking in a cemetery and looking at ghosts. because it's not really there, and you feel foolish thinking it's there. We got enough issues. If you ladies think that the only thing that we're good for is donating sperm, you don't know us. You don't want us to be husbands. You don't want us to be fathers. You want us to be utilities. You want us to be servants. You want us to be concuserves. And that's not going to happen. I want to applaud all you young men out there. And when I say young, I'm talking about anybody under the age of 45 years old. I want to applaud all of you young men for carrying yourself with pride and dignity. All you young men out there who are taking the forefront and using your voice to speak up. These are the battles that you're going to have to face. They don't want you, they want your sperm. They don't want you as a husband. They don't want you as a father. Take what's yours, your ancestry, because that is your genetics, that's your legacy right there. Everything else is going to be forgotten. It's going to be, you might be famous. It's going to end up in a book somewhere, but your children and your children's children's children are going to be on this planet. And what you want to do is for them to have your imprint. Continue to take pride in yourself. I don't know what's coming, but I know society and I know women well enough to know, and I know how societies typically want to cater to women. You might get to the point where these women are trying to take or force you to give up children. When the incentives don't work, I don't know what's coming. I don't know what's going to happen. It's to the point, it's just ridiculous. It's asinine to consider that we've gotten to this point where black women are now begging black men, going to these sperm banks trying to get children, from black men, but they don't want to deal with the black men in front of them. They rather go to a sperm bank and get it some stranger that they don't know, who could have all sorts of issues and all sorts of demons, all sorts of generational curses, so to speak. It's bewildering. I'm looking forward to the comment section. I hope that people like Alvin and Mr. Garvey and Jason and Douglas, if you have your own podcast, I would hope you would take this and begin to expound upon it, because your idea is unabridged. Like here, my presence is here. I don't want to hear what I think. I want to hear what you all think. I hope people like BGS Ibmore, I hope people that like Dr. T.S. Johnson, these brilliant minds, the Green Gorilla, I hope you take this and MTR, all these other people who are thinkers, and you analyze this and you try to figure out what the hell is going on. What the hell? This affects black men more than anything I've seen before. It says so much. It says you're the prize, number one. That's the first thing it says. It says that you're a rare commodity, a rare find. The brother down in Barbados, there ain't a whole lot of Barbadians. Once they're gone, they're gone. Once the black American man is gone, it's gone. It'd be African. It'd be people of African descent on this country, this country, but never that combination, never that unique heritage, never that unique lineage, never a group of people who were basically forged to be strong as steel, to survive and endure what we've had to endure. There'll never be another group of people like us on this planet, because there's never been a group of people who've had to deal with these sort of conditions for so long. I truly believe that, and please don't take this wrong, take it from a place of love. God allowed us to be in this position because he loves us, and he wanted us to be strong just so we could show and give him the glory. If a group of people can come up and do what we've done and still be these amazing human beings that we are, loved and respected around the world for our artistry, for our athleticism, for our thoughts, whether it's a Malcolm X, whether it's a Thurgood Marshall, a Martin Luther King, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, all these great athletes, entertainers, these voices, these brilliant minds, whether they're theologians, artists, that's truly God's blessing. you know, and unfortunately we had to come through the fire to be who we are. But all that stops when the black man stops participating in these conversations and stops participating in society. And that's what I see. So fellas, know your value, you know the value of those big black nuts. Okay. Y'all type big black nuts in the chat room for me one more time, man. Shout out to my man, guy in the black suit. Big shout out to Garvey. Thank you so much, Khalid. Big shout out to brother Holden. Y'all check out his channel, Simple Shit TV. My man Douglas, bro. But all you guys dropped some real jewels tonight, man. Douglas X, Jason, Khalid, Garvey, Holden. I think this is probably one of my this has been an enlightening panel. Everybody in the chat room, I want you to give a big shout out to all these gentlemen, these brilliant, beautifully minded black men that this country and many other places say doesn't exist. We came together. You hear us here respectfully speaking to each other, having honest conversations, open, it's humorous, it's funny, it's brothers chopping up. This is not barbershop talk. Barbershop talk is raunchy and unabridged. No, this is concise. This is brilliant. And I love you, brothers. And I wish that I could showcase you brothers more. You know, I wish I had a bigger channel. I wish I had a million followers so I could let y'all come on and speak so the world could see. We would have a bigger impact. But I'm happy with what I got. And I know that everybody who comes here and patronizes, and even the people who don't, you know, I know you appreciate it. Big shout out to everybody who contributed, you know, financially. It definitely is motivating because it lets me know you put your money where your mouth is. You put your money with what you love. You see? And I'm glad I don't have to ask for donations. I don't feel like I want to do that anymore, but I appreciate everybody, man. I'm exhausted. In case you can hear it in my voice. I went to jiu-jitsu 6 times this week. And I'm trying to get my blue belt. I went
on a mission.
I went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I went back Friday at lunch, and then went in the evening with my sons. I went to Kaju Kimbo because I'm training for my yellow belt this morning. And then after that, an hour later, I was back at jiu-jitsu. So I'm exhausted. You know, I'm 48. I'm not 18, man. So I'm tired, but you know, the thing about being a man, you never stop. And you always want to rise to the occasion. You always want to remember, you know, like Brother Farrakhan said, a lion roars until the day he's dead. You never stop being a lion. So always look for that new challenge, fellas. Always look for that new goal. And I've set some high goals for myself. I was thinking to myself, man, this is something you should have been doing at like 18 to 28, you know, not 48, but I'm not a quitter. So God bless you, brothers. I appreciate you. I'm gonna get a little sleep. I love you guys. I love you, black men. I love you like you're my own children. And that's why I give you this heartfelt advice like I do. So either way, man, God bless y'all. I love y'all. And as I always say at this time, this is Uncle D, and I am out.